Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's go!
Do you have absolute certainty on how you go from hello to yes on what you're looking for?
Sean is a master. He teaches. It's not just about sharing the formula with you. It's about making sure that we learn.
I went from $100,000 in debt from law school to having no money and starting my own law firm on my credit card to selling it 4 years later.
Sean and I, we co-created massive victories in 2 unwinnable jury trials, which are recognized nationally now as top 100 jury verdicts.
To be even on the same track with you, who I respect and admire and love with all my heart.
Never again submit. You're not better and you're not less than any human on earth.
When you shared with us about the Unblinded process and the mastery sales training, I just went, wow.
Sean will gain proximity to the most influential and powerful people. He will find out how he can grow their business, how he can help them personally. But the third thing that he does is the most important. Sean serves without an expectation of getting anything in return.
You have very, very high-performing colleagues.
22 years ago, you transformed my life as you did all of these people's lives over the course of time. I couldn't be more grateful. Let's hear from Tony Robbins.
I don't see him as a lawyer, and I don't see him as a blind person. Someone who has subjugated his ego, who has taught me what serving really looks like.
You have this incredible ability to just have unconditional love for everyone, and that is just an incredible gift.
The moment you have been waiting for.
The American Blind Association is the first new face and voice of that association since Helen Keller.
Formula for formulas, which is exactly what I've learned from Sean. It's a language-based predictable model. We will have over 300 new sales meetings this month.
This superpower in the world that is attainable for you is the ability to influence people. If you believe that, say yes. If you believe that, say yes.
Do you think that worked?
Amazing Surgical Center, Fernando, everybody down there. What's happening? Who do we got, G-Money?
We have first coming from Fort Lauderdale, Bella Veria's hometown now. Jessica Barry is with us, Sean and Bella, originally from New Jersey, by the way. On her way to becoming a physical therapist, life-changing event, became a life insurance tax superhero for high net worth individuals, fiduciary, connector, lover of family, dogs, and people. Please join me in welcoming Jessica to The Real Raw, everyone.
Jessica, how are you?
Very good. And how are you today?
I am delightful on this Trajectory Tuesday. And what is your fun fact, Jessica?
My fun fact, I need a fun fact. My fun fact is I have a dog named Cookie. I wish I knew my fun fact was coming because I would have had her prepared to show her off.
Well, Jessica, that's amazing. And what type of dog is Cookie?
Cookie is a Yorkie.
That's beautiful. That's amazing.
And she's the cutest Yorkie in the world. Sorry for anyone who has a dog.
I know, I might have to compete with that just a little bit because mine's pretty cute too.
Cutest Yorkie in the world is present. Jessica, thank you for being here and for all you're doing to support people in their financial abundance and freedom.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, guys.
G-Money, we got Jessica, the cutest Yorkie in the world, and...
We have from Niceville. Is that a real town, Nathan? Nathan Hansen is with us today from Niceville, Florida. Sounds amazing. An example of possibility this man is. A pilot, a husband, father of 3 teens. That's hard enough. Writer, retired Air Force pilot. Thank you for your service. Eagle Scout, adventure racer, living for brotherhood and impact. Sean, he calls himself a professional Boy Scout. Please, everyone, join me in welcoming Nathan Hansen to The Real Raw.
Nathan, thank you for being here, and thank you for your service, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and Nathan, what does one have to do to become an Eagle Scout? All of the respect present. I flunked it, and I didn't flunk out, but I stopped at the Weeblo level. So what does one need to do to become an Eagle Scout?
Well, it helps if your parents hold your driver's license hostage. And so I didn't drive till I was 18 because of that. But the big thing is that you do that service project, and something that as a high school kid, it's not not your first thing that you want to go out and do is figure that out, and then you got to do all the merit badges and all the having gone through all the ranks up till that. The big thing is that service project and giving something back. That's your crowning achievement.
And what was your service project, Nathan?
If I remember correctly, I did I went out and I helped members of my church, and I provided them videos of their belongings, and in case of emergency, basically helping them secure their properties against theft, fire, and basically being prepared against all of life's emergencies.
Well, that's an important, valuable thing, brother, because one of our Unblinded elite is an attorney from Florida who is getting ready to go to trial on $1 million property damage case. So that would have been pretty important, and we're very grateful. Yeah, very grateful for you being here today, Nathan, and for all that you do in the world.
Thank you.
Thank you. G Money, Jessica, Nathan, and
Uche Chekwa, I love saying that name, from Orlando, Florida, husband, father of 2 teens, former model who models growth mindset now, sales at wealth accelerators, helping others find vehicles to grow their wealth. Thank you for joining us. Please, everyone, join me in welcoming Uche Chekwa to The Real Raw.
Uche, thank you for being here today. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Absolutely, 100% correct. Thank you.
Awesome. And Uche, what is your fun fact?
Fun fact, my parents actually thought that they couldn't get pregnant. So when my mom was pregnant with me, she was sick and they didn't know. And my parents are super spiritual. So my dad just started praying that the devil would stop torturing my mom. And then when they found out that, no, actually, it's not the devil. Well, I guess that's up for debate. It's you're having a baby. They named me Uche, actually Uche Chukwu, which means God's will. So my dad was like, well, this must be God's will. And then they had 5 kids after that. I feel special.
So Uche, let me just ask you a question. How do you know it wasn't the devil that was prayed away and gave a pathway to all these children?
That's true. That's very true. I actually don't know that. That's a good point. That is a good point.
Listen, I'm not taking a position either way. I'm just like, yeah, it's like interesting and present. So congratulations on that and for all the things. And what's your mission in the world? What are you up to?
My goal, I really want to uplift people. I mean, I do work with wealth accelerators, helping people build wealth, but that's kind of a shorter term goal. The longer term goal is for me to get to a point in life where I can lift communities out of poverty, show people that just because you were brought up a certain way or you're in a certain area or you're in a certain social status, it really doesn't mean anything. And it's always been something that I've wanted to do ever since I was a kid. So that's my trajectory. I'm just, doing whatever I can now and then trying to build that wealth and that freedom. So I'm just free to just do that full time. So
awesome, my friend. And as the grandson of a blind man, and as a blind man, my mom, the daughter of a blind man, pushed a hot dog cart in Jersey City when I was a baby. And I stand in the world for the integrous acceleration of people's economics to create real change. So I love the fact that that's on your heart. And I can't think of a more productive and effective way to create change that brings about connection, love, growth, pride, inside of people and inside of communities. So Uche, thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Thank you. G Money.
Sean, this incredible lady started dreaming about being a lawyer when she was, guess how old?
27.
Nope, not even close. She was 5 years old when she couldn't imagine doing anything other than being a lawyer. South Floridian, she has 17 godchildren, 2 dogs, Molly and Mister. She's the first woman appointed to the Florida Circuit Court in 1970. 1972, appointed to the Florida Supreme Court. Please join me in welcoming Rhea Grossman to The Real Raw.
So Rhea, are you a fan of the book The Godfather?
I read it.
Yes. So, I mean, I think you have more godchildren than Don Corleone did.
Well, that's only because I don't have my own children. So everybody felt sorry and they gave me a title by being a godmother to their children.
Well, Rhea, I am sure it is not because they felt sorry. I am sure it's because you are absolutely extraordinary and incredible. And I am present to that. And that is an incredible honor that people have bestowed upon you that many times. So it is a privilege to be talking to you today.
It's a privilege to be here.
Yeah. And what's your fun fact, Rhea, besides the fact that you have more godchildren than any 5 people I've ever met?
My fun fact is when I became a circuit judge in Florida, the first woman, I didn't take it too seriously. And then I got a notice from the Supreme Court that I could not practice under my maiden name because I had gotten married and I refused to take my husband's name. And after that, I knew there'd be a problem with professional females in the various professions, and that was way back in 68 and 69. We changed the rule now. In Florida, you do not have to accept a husband's surname.
Wow. So, Rhea, thank you for being here. Lots to unpack. But again, I mentioned my blind grandfather, and again, I am blind currently, and I believe I'll regain my sight someday. But my grandmother, once my grandfather went blind, became the 3rd woman realtor in Jersey City, New Jersey, and went out and supported her 5 children in a huge way and faced unbelievable gender dynamics, as I'm sure you have as well. So again, it is a privilege to be speaking with you, and thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you. G-Money.
We have Mr. Brian Pla joining us with our team, Adam and Fernando from Gentera out of Miami. Also, Andy Zapata in the house with him there. Proud father of a daughter and one on the way. Disruptor and a pioneer in functional and regenerative medicine. Please join me in welcoming Brian Pla to the Real Raw.
Awesome. So, Brian, thank you. And the Real Raw is sort of being hosted from your facility today. How are you?
I'm doing great, and like I said, I'm cheating because I get extra claps because I got all the boys
here. So, Brian, what is your fun fact, brother?
My fun fact is, well, they already they kind of introed with it, where I'm very happy to be expecting my my second child, which will be my last one. So the factory is closing after this one, but I like to say that I'm in the smile collection business because that's really what we aim to do here at Gentera is, collect smiles and change people's lives with all the cool treatments that we're offering here when, traditional medicine doesn't have too many good options, right?
Well, brother, that's awesome. And as somebody who just came out of an unbelievable health crisis and challenge that made no sense in the modern medical world, traditional medical world, I should say, I stand in the space of thank you for causing people to understand and become present to their health and how it all really works. So thanks for being here, Brian.
My pleasure.
All right. G-Money.
Next, we have Mr. Tom Skiba. Tom, correct me if I'm pronouncing that wrong. He is in the building, home improvement, and decorating field since 1976. Been running his business along with his wife Patty, and being a part of his estate property and management team since 1994. He is top 50 commercial team in the U.S. for Remax. Please join me in welcoming Tom to the Real Raw, everyone.
Tom, excellent to meet you, my friend. Congratulations on all of your success. And what is your fun fact, Tom?
Well, I would have said it was my 11 grandchildren, but I've sort of been outdone. But I've been with my wife since high school back in 73.
Amazing.
So, yeah. And I'm still in love with her. So
48 years, brother. That's amazing. Yeah. What's the secret?
She's very tolerant with me.
And what my level 5 listening team is that is how Tom frames it. So that is a beautiful access point to see not only his beautiful bride's tolerance, but also his recognition and acknowledgement of such. So, Tom, that's extraordinary, and it's a privilege to have you here. And congratulations on your 48 years and your 11 wonderful grandchildren.
Thank you.
Thank you. G Money.
Next, Dr. Nicholas Kimaz, spiritual and biohacking holistic health coach. He was the owner of a multiple 9-figure business, director of 10 Hollywood plus movies and TV shows, a commercial pilot, an entrepreneur of all kinds. He is currently a spiritual health coach and has worked with people like Tony and Sage. So please, everyone, join me in welcoming Dr. Nicholas Kimaz to The Real Raw.
Thank you.
Dr. Nicholas, how are you?
I am great and awesome and so happy to see these beautiful faces.
Well, we are honored to be here with you today. And Tony and Sage are incredible people that I am blessed.
Oh, they certainly are.
Yeah, to know. And what is your fun fact, Dr. Nicholas?
My fun fact, bringing awareness, my own awareness of my own spirituality, and bringing awareness to people's spirituality and how important it is to activate your spiritual growth for every path that you're on, whether health, relationship, financial, helping others, living your purpose. And the main purpose that we all live for is everything we do to others is not to please them, to please God. So that's the path I'm on, and that's my fun fact.
Well, that is a beautiful thing, Dr. Nicholas. Your heart is felt, your spirit is felt, and it's a privilege.
Oh, thank you. Privilege for being with you. Thank you.
Gina, incredible day.
Absolutely incredible. I think, just so you know, Uche might be in the other room, team. So if we can bring Uche back into this room, and then Sean, we're up to the influence sorceress.
Well, this woman started selling crafts on her front lawn as an 8-year-old when I was running away from my aunts that were trying to hug me and kiss me at Christmas and Thanksgiving because I was so shy. When she was 19, she became a 7-figure earner in the space of network marketing, then became, and Rhea might find this to be particularly interesting, not number 5 or 4 or 3 or 2, but number 1 business broker in the state of Nevada at 24 years old. Youngest ever, first woman ever to be the number 1 business broker in the state of Nevada, is now the co-host of The Real Raw, bringing money, time, magic, training, coaching, acceleration to people and humans, and speaking on big stages all over the country and in the future of the world as COVID lifts. The one, the only co-host of The Real Raw, Bella Verita.
Hello. Sean, I have the funnest of fun facts for you today. And it's apropos that Adam and Fernando are here too.
And what is that, Bella?
Because, I know we had this whole conversation about social media this morning, but, Facebook does have its bonuses. And because of Facebook, today, Sean, makes 1 year ago today, I made my inaugural role-playing possible co-host of The Real Raw. Happened 1 year ago today.
That is unbelievable. Let's hear it for that. So happy anniversary. That's
happy
incredible.
Anniversary. Yes.
I had no idea. 1 year ago today.
One year ago today, because we filmed a video in your house about it. And so one year ago today, we made the inaugural, let's check out this Bella lady and see if she might be a good fit to be our permanent co-host on The Real Raw. So here we are a year later.
No, you've been extraordinary. Happy anniversary and amazing job, Belle.
Thank you. It is really, truly an honor and a privilege to be here and to be part of Unblinded and work with such an incredible team doing such amazing work in the world. It really is such a blessing.
Well, thank you.
Now
what?
Now let's get to work.
I don't get a fun fact.
Yes, Sean. I got to get better at this, Gene Research. Sean Callaghan, what is your fun fact?
Oh, it's funny you should ask. Thank you for the consideration.
I thought you were celebrating my fun fact.
Yes, I always. So I would say that my fun fact is that when I didn't drink very much in high school or college, and I don't drink at all now, I never was a big drinker, but when I was 16 years old and my parents left me home by myself between my sophomore and junior year of high school for a week because I was busy training for football and baseball. We were jumping off my parents' roof into the pool in the backyard. So that would be my fun fact for today.
That is fun.
Yes.
That is fun.
So, yes, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. And I truly hope that my 3 children in college have not been doing the same thing at our beach houses, but God only knows. So, yes. So, Gina, love you. Appreciate you. Thank you for launching us. And we're going to explore integrous influence, not like roof jumping off into pool influence, but integrous influence, because it's what makes everything go in our marketing, our selling, our managing, our leading, our recruiting, our lawyering, our justice, our judging, as well as our fundraising for and not for profit. So Gina, appreciate you enormously. Have a great day and thank you.
She somehow got bounced out, so she is already off into the multiverse.
Awesome. Okay, so who's going first? Bella.
Well, I believe since Nathan has already seen you live and in person, was raving about you in the green room, I think he should get to go first.
No, Nathan, that is very kind, my brother. Bella Verita, Nathan, will be anybody you want her to be, because everything begins after yes. And so who would you like Bella to be? Ideal client, I don't know, a book deal, maybe something on stage, fundraising, whatever you want it to be. Bella will be that avatar. So who's that going to be, Nathan?
Well, and Sean, I don't know if you remember, but Nathan is the guy that tried to get a 3-minute meeting with a case of beer when neither one of them drank. That's who Nathan is.
That is absolutely amazing.
Yes.
So I love it, Nathan. So who's it going to be?
I actually have someone I'm trying to influence after this call, and it is a fellow pilot who runs the company. I'm trying to get him to make a decision to let me take a trip and give my friend a favor by letting him go to training in my place on Monday.
Awesome.
But it's a little complicated. I don't know if that's something that Bella's up to role playing.
Absolutely. So who would you like her to be? She's somebody you're trying to get yes from who does what in the world?
Her name is Brian. Brian is a pilot. He also runs a small leasing company that flies airplanes.
Okay.
Nice.
Brian,
Bella, you're like,
I worked at a private airport, so I can do this.
It's perfect. Bella, take us in.
Hello, this is Brian.
Hey, Brian, it's Nate. How are you doing?
Hey, Nate, what's up?
Hey, so I've been thinking about our dilemma on this trip this weekend, and I just wanted to kind of run this by you, which I think is kind of a good scenario that helps out you and hopefully helps out me and everyone and the rest of the company.
Oh yeah, what are your thoughts? I got a couple minutes.
Okay, yeah. Obviously, we have the issue of my trip that I'm scheduled to be on to Aspen this weekend, which I'm really looking forward to, got extended by a day, which means that I'm not going to be able to make it to the training that we're going to in South Carolina. My recommendation is that my friend Charlie, who is a new hire, that he go on that trip in my place and I stay on the Aspen trip.
And why, tell me, why do you think, what would be the benefit for us in that? Tell me how you came up with this suggestion.
Yeah. So my big thoughts are, I'm already primary guy in flying the Premier. So adding an extra airplane to my skill set it's not going to be as valuable as giving somebody a brand new pilot. So that'll be his primary aircraft flying the Meridian. If I get qualified in the Meridian, it's just going to, make my schedule a little more hectic. I think it's best for the company to bring in a new guy, some fresh blood who will have more availability, and we won't have to basically deconflict my schedule flying 2 airplanes. Not saying that I wouldn't want to get qualified eventually, but in the near term, I think this is a better solution for the schedule and for having more aircraft availability, more pilot availability.
Tell me more about that, because I definitely hear your concerns, your schedule, but I'm definitely a bit more in from the company perspective. Tell me about this young man and why you think we should give him a chance.
Well, Charlie, you got his resume. I mean, he just sent it to you last week, and I know I've been kind of following up on his behalf as you've been busy, flying your other job for Spirit Airlines. And I know you've got a lot on your plate. So I've been trying to ease his transition and get him ready to start flying as soon as he can. He is highly experienced. He has probably twice the flying hours that I do. And I've flown with him personally in our previous career together. And there isn't anybody that I that I trust more in an airplane. He does it all, and I know he's highly capable, and he would be a great asset to the team. And this would also help me out as I'm scheduled for this trip. I don't want to have to cancel a prime. Well, this is a prime trip, and because of the money I'm going to earn this weekend, if I'm out this weekend, then that's going to put me behind on kind of making what I need for the month coming up. So this would help me out. It would help Charlie out. I think it would also help out the company by giving maximum pilot availability to the schedule going forward.
Gotcha. Well, definitely we'll make it a consideration, and I'll get back to you, Nathan.
Okay. Hey, thanks, Brian. Appreciate the time.
Excellent. Nathan, great work. Brian, excellent work in your private jet company. Bella likes nothing more than being in charge. Is that right, boss lady?
I don't dislike it.
Bella might have been a co-star of a show called Boss Lady at some point. Yes. So amazing, Nathan. Great
Boss Lady Vegas.
Boss Lady Vegas. So Jessica, are you ready?
I mean, honestly, no. Like, I have no idea what we're doing right now. We're doing a role play and like trying to pitch someone an idea. Like, I'm kind of a deer in headlights. I'm like, wait, I wasn't told this was going to happen.
Yes. So excellent. Love it. So Jessica, do you are you present to the reality that
Yes.
everything you have in your life, including your Yorkie, is because somebody obtained a yes from you? Does that make sense?
Yes. However, it doesn't matter if I get a yes or a no, I'm going to make it happen. So like I was told for years, no, I couldn't have a Yorkie. I went out and bought one and I made it happen. And my parents had no choice but to let me keep the Yorkie back when I lived home. So
Yes.
I mean, I just kind of do, even if I get a no.
Yeah. So what you did, right, Jessica, is you obtained a yes. So you turned no into yes and just went out and got the Yorkie. And so every dollar we make, every business we build, every relationship we have is all formed after yes. So what the show is about the exercise of that power, right? At some point, Paul Revere rode like one way and woke up a whole bunch of people and got them to say, yes, I'll wake up. Yes, I will pick up a weapon. And here come the British and I'll be ready. And William Dawes rode the other way and got nobody to wake up and got no yeses. Martin Luther King and Gandhi, there's other incredible people who have a desire to have led and created revolutionary ideas, and nothing happened. But Mandela, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Gandhi, Mother Teresa, Oprah, these are names we know because they got yeses in mass volume. So is there any yes that you would want to achieve in the world? And even the dynamic of, I love your energy, I love your charge, like, I'll just make it happen. The make it happen is still that you're going to turn a no into a yes. Fair?
Fair, yes.
Yeah, yeah. So, and even see how I went from hello to yes with you?
Yes, I do. You hear the yeses coming out of my mouth right now?
Yes.
Yes.
So it's amazing. So let's just have some fun. Do you like having fun, Jessica?
Yes.
Are you boring, Jessica?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I think you're very fun. So how about we have some fun? And who would you like Bella to be that is a yes, that Jessica, you are so skilled, talented, capable, able, you will not take no for an answer. You'll turn no into yes. Who would you like Bella to be that you're going to get that yes from?
That's what I have no idea. Like, who could I even, because when he was just going, I was like, oh, who would I pick? Like, I don't know. I didn't know that I would have to go, but I'm like, what do I even pick? What do I even do?
So what is it that you do for a living? I know, but you say it, please.
Yeah, so I work at a financial planning office and I sell insurance, right, for tax-free distribution.
How about this? I have a $20 million universal whole life policy. That was a big yes for them to get because that would be a large commission. Would you agree with that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So why don't you make Bella somebody that you're seeking a yes from to sell a beautiful policy to make their life better?
Okay, because I mean, so much goes into it, but I mean, to get the appointment.
Yeah, how about that? Well, yeah, it's only just, it's the next yes, because you know this, that when you do what you do, it's a series of sequential yeses. We're not looking to pitch people. We're not looking to hook people. We're not looking to close people. We're looking to integrally get the next yes. Make sense?
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah, awesome. So listen, Bella's got a lot of money, owns a whole bunch of companies, and she's like flying the high life, and she has no idea that something could happen and she might need insurance, and use it as a beautiful financial instrument and help her with her taxes. You know that, she doesn't, and she's leading a high life, and you want to sit down and have an educational conversation with her. Sound good?
Sound good.
All right.
Sounds good.
Bella, you got money burning in your pockets. Take us in.
Hello, this is Bella.
Hi, Bella. How are you doing today? This is Jessica Barry calling.
Hello, Jessica. I'm doing quite well. Thank you for asking.
Great, great. Glad to hear everything is well. It's Tuesday. I don't know if it's raining by you, but it's rainy by me. But that's okay. You know, everything's all good, and we're a happy place usually. Hopefully, this rain clears up quickly. Anyways, I just wanted to catch your ear really quickly. I did want to see if there's any way we could possibly hop on a Zoom or a call, a scheduled call or a Zoom call within the next week. And I could tell you a little bit about ways to save money on a tax-free basis.
Okay, so what is it that you do?
Yeah, I do work with Coastal Wealth Mass Mutual. And what I do is I help protect people with life insurance, right? But you're not only paying for that life insurance and never going to see that money again, you're paying for a policy where the money that you're contributing goes into an account and is basically saved for you, that later you're going to borrow that money, take loans from yourself from that cash value inside the policy, and that money will all be tax-free. Now, do you know anything about a Roth IRA?
I do know a bit about it, yeah.
Okay, awesome. So Roth IRAs are so good that not everyone can have them. You know, if you make too much money, you can't have one. You want to put in a good amount of money each year, but you can't put in more than $6,000 a year. So from what I hear about you, Bella, I don't really know anything. I just wanted to touch base and meet you and speak with you. But from what I hear about you, you're amazing, and you can't have a Roth IRA because you make much more than people who have Roth IRAs have. So what I would love to propose to you is something that I believe you'd really be able to enjoy and reap the benefits from. And it's a super Roth IRA, if you will.
Yeah, well, I mean, I work with, a company already called Epic Financial. They do a phenomenal job with, all of the things, but, I don't know if maybe there's something else, but maybe it's something that we can consider.
Yeah, so, because I would tell you definitely, Epic Financial, that's awesome. And I'm glad you're working with somebody. Also, I would never touch something that you have in place already, right? I could give you a second opinion, complimentary second opinion, but I would never touch that. This basically works hand in hand with what you have, and it's only gonna complement what you have in place. So pretty much, I would just be looking for a 15-minute conversation. We can hop on the phone or even Zoom, so this way I could show you some examples. No pressure at all. Again,
well, if it'll complement what I have and I don't have to leave Epic, we can definitely have a conversation.
Okay, sounds like a plan.
Thank you.
Excellent job. Jessica, are you looking for work?
I was a little shaky at first.
So listen, for somebody who was like, I don't know what I'm doing, I don't know what's happening, that was an awesome job.
Okay. Well, once I got into the role, I was okay. So thanks, guys.
Yeah, no, you did a great job. Agree, Bella?
Agreed 100%.
Yeah, excellent job. So wonderful job, both Jessica and Nathan. And Bella, what do you think?
Oh. Hey, by the way, I'm so sorry to interrupt, but if I did such a great job, am I going to get some meetings out of that, or
I love this.
I love it. That's awesome.
Jessica, you want to hear a fun fact? So Epic Financial, which is our client, and my dear friend Rob owns the company. They went from 8 sales meetings per month to 600 sales meetings per month, and that is not an exaggeration, with our working together with no paid advertising. So the answer is yes. In these dynamics, we get lots more sales meetings. So excellent job, though. Really, a lot of fun. I love your energy. Great job. So Bella, let's go to the judges. Let's start with Brian, since we're hanging out at your surgical center. And Brian, maybe let's start with some feedback for Jessica. We'll go flip-flop back and forth, Jessica and Nathan back and forth. So Brian, 30 seconds of feedback, 15 seconds what worked, 15 seconds what could be optimized, and then a score on a scale of 1 to 10. like a 1 being you're jumping out like out of your surgical center to run away from Jessica, a 5 being like, nah, and a 10 being you're gonna like grab hold and like never let go of her foot until you have a meeting. So what you got, sir?
Excellent. Good job, Jessica. I gave you an 8. I think, like you said, you started off a little bit slow, but then all of a sudden, for someone who didn't know what they were supposed to be doing, you quickly jumped into the pitch, and I think you tried to build rapport and try to kind of engage, which I think is extremely important. And you started to earn my attention in terms of what you were pitching. So I think that was a really good job, and I was intrigued about wanting to learn more and possibly understand more about your products.
Nice.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you.
And your score is?
Sean Callaghan, that is my line, and he said 8, and we're up to 30 seconds.
Oh,
don't be messing with my jam here.
I'm messing with your jam, Bella.
Don't be messing with my jam.
Yes,
He's always trying to take my job, Brian.
I am, Brian.
And usually, like, I get to, go back and forth and who are the participants, but, go ahead, Sean. I'm going to go take a nap.
All right. Let's go, Tom. Tom, what do you have for Nathan?
For Nathan, I thought he did a pretty good job. He deflected the conversation to begin with. He came up with other solutions and some consideration. The only thing I would say is he mentioned to, I believe it was the pilot who owns the company, that he's too busy with his other job, and maybe not to mention that.
All right.
And your score for Nathan is?
We'll give him a 9.
Nice. Excellent job. Rhea, please, what do you have for Jessica?
Jessica, I had a 9+.
Nice.
Ooh, thank you.
Ooh.
1, because she's happy, and 2, because she seemed to have enjoyed what she did, but she enjoys what she's doing. And that's what's important.
Absolutely. Awesome.
You have to get up every morning and like what you're doing, then you'll like yourself.
Ooh, I love this. Rhea dropping some wisdom.
Yeah. At my age, I can do a lot of things.
Yes, I am not confused. That is, it's an honor and privilege. Awesome. Let's go, Uche. Uche, what did you have, please, for Nathan?
I gave Nathan a 9, actually, as well. I just thought that the way that he handled the conversation, and I don't know if it was just me, I felt that Bella or Brian was maybe a little tough to deal with. And it just felt like Nathan was smiling through it and continuing to go through it and pivoting correctly until he could get a couple confirmations. So I like that. I like that approach. So I'll give him a 9.
Amazing. But you know what, Uche, Brian has a shirt that says, the Brian that owns that airport has a shirt that says it's not my fault. So it's all good, even when he/she is tough to deal with.
Got it.
Awesome job.
But I do want to drop into, like, tough to deal with, but in a moment, we're going to drop into, the 4-12-4. And Sean, you always talk about speaking into the listening of others. And so where I was trying to take that conversation is to the value of what it would be for Brian, because Nathan mentioned a lot of like the value for him, but where I was steering the conversation, because you always are so masterful at speaking into the listening of others and the value of others. So that's where I was trying to support the conversation in going, because that's how, even with Jessica, how I witnessed you get so many yeses is because you were speaking into the value for her. So that is drop in for Nathan.
And if I may, that was exactly how you should have played that character, Bella. And it was like you read my mind, because that is exactly the way it should have been played. Uche, you picked up on that. He's hard to convince, and the value for him is the priority. So she was brilliant.
Yes, she is.
That's why I was.
That's the other T-shirt she owns. I'm brilliant. Of course.
That's very kind, but no, I'll be in service.
No, you absolutely are. We're having fun. But Bella, amazing job as always. Incredible. So let's go, Dr. Nicholas. What did you have for Jessica?
Jessica, well, I want to call her to check on my life insurance. She did great. It was awesome. It was the follow up with the question after a question, the answer after each question, and then she would question the motive. And I think it was brilliant the way she did that.
And your score for Jessica is?
Yes.
Well, what's your score for her?
Oh, the score. I would give her 9.5. Yes.
Ooh, very nice. Excellent job. Jessica and Nathan are amazing judges. Brian, Tom, Uche, Rhea, Dr. Nicholas. Wonderful. Bella, this is an incredible group of people.
This is an absolutely incredible group of people. Yes, sir.
Yes. And listen, since my shirt says it is my fault, I think it's time for me to go on the hot seat.
I definitely think it's time for you to go on the hot seat because, Jessica and Nathan, they both did a brilliant job. Jessica was a little bit hesitant, but then crushed it. And so now is the time, Jessica, that we and Nathan and everybody else, that we get to put Sean on the hot seat. Remember that magic moment that I was talking about that you really want to pay attention to? This is that moment. This is that moment that somebody here is going to get to set up Sean with any scenario that they want that he would go from hello to yes on. So it could be like, Nathan's scenario of like, I don't really want to fly. I would like to get paid for not flying. I would like to do my own schedule and I would like for you to listen to me. It could be that scenario, or it could be like something like, and I'm totally joking. It could be that, a conservative New Jersey attorney that should go to Burning Man. That could be a fun one. Or once there was he played Donald Trump that was convincing President Biden to still build the wall. So any scenario can be set up as long as it is in integrity. So Sean, how do we want to choose who gets to put you on the hot seat today?
So Bella, why don't you go put a number 1 through 7 underneath the table over there by the ocean. And I'll just go through the people real quick. Okay.
All right. Sounds good.
Awesome. Jessica, what number 1 through 7? Please pick a number.
4.
Okay.
Nathan. Was that supposed to? Okay.
Yeah. Nathan, what do you have? 1 through 7.
Well, Jessica took my number, so I'll take 7.
It is 7. Woo!
So Nathan, you get to put me on the hot seat, put any scenario I have to go from hello to yes about. That's integrous. We're not selling swampland in the middle of New York City. Or you could pass it to any other participants to set the scenario. So would you like to put me on the hot seat or pass that to somebody else?
Oh, does anybody have a scenario that they really want to see?
Jessica is raising her hand.
I passed to Jessica.
See, it's like I wasn't sure at first, but now I'm all in, guys.
Oh, now all of a sudden, Jessica, now that it's not you like the game now?
I wasn't sure in the beginning. I was like, how's this all working? But yeah.
John, you should not be surprised here.
I am definitely not surprised. So, yes.
Only
so Jessica,
because you guys just threw that idea out here. I have to hear Trump convincing Biden. No, whatever side everyone's on is fine, right? But we have to hear Trump convincing Biden to complete the wall. I got to hear that.
All right. All right. So, and who would you like to be president? Would you like to be President Biden, or would you like somebody else here to be President Biden?
Somebody else.
Who would you like to pick?
Nathan, do you want to do it? No?
I have to whisper the whole time.
Let's sleep.
He's asleep.
I will be President Biden. Sure, I would love to.
All right, amazing. So Nathan, thank you, Jessica, for this interesting scenario. So President Biden, I really appreciate the opportunity to have this conversation. And so thank you.
Well, it's my pleasure to be here. Don, can I call you Don? What do you prefer?
I would prefer Mr. President, and I would refer to you as Mr. President.
Mr. President, I like that.
Yeah. And so President Biden, Mr. President, I'd like to begin by apologizing. I'd like to apologize for you for where our rhetoric and interactions degenerated to. And I am present to the reality, and I have a lot of strong feelings about many things that have occurred. But one of the things that I do feel very strongly about was the way I think our nation needed disruption. I think we need to see the truth and reality of those things in our government that were broken and needed to be fixed. I am also present to the simple reality that some of my communication patterns around them, including the disrespect with which I communicated about you and towards you, was really not in service of our nation. So for that, I apologize, first of all. And second of all, what I'm seeking today is actually an open discussion conversation. And I know we're not going to get completed with it in 3 minutes. And I'm even grateful for the 3 minutes. And quite frankly, it shows a lot about your character that you gave me any time at all to have this conversation. And I just want to share with you, Mr. President, that if we can have a longer conversation about this, and I had your word that we have an open dialogue about creating truly unity in our nation and seeking truth, I would make the apology I just gave to you privately, I would make a public apology, even just for a longer meeting conversation. So I just want to put all of that up front, that hopefully will at least allay some of your concern about where this conversation might be going. So thank you even for the opportunity, though, to make that apology.
Well, Mr. President, if I may, I'm looking over my shoulder for cameras because I'm shocked, but I'm also pleasantly surprised that you have that we share that in common, our desire for the nation. And if you are in fact earnest and true in your apology, I would gladly accept it under the conditions you just gave. So I'm willing to keep listening because you have my attention.
Yeah, well, thank you. I've been studying a lot about communication influence, and I discovered a program from these fine folks at Unblinded. And what I began to learn is a lot of the things that cause me to be successful, sometimes we can mistake those greatest strengths for the exclusive tools that we can utilize. And I realized that a lot of what I brought was incredibly valuable, but some things that I did were less than optimal, to be sure. So thank you for that. And the conversation I want to have is a complex one, and it certainly includes the dynamic of the sovereignty of our nation. And Mr. President, what I am absolutely clear about, and I'm not going to ascribe motives, but what I'm clear about is that the future of our nation could be very much in question. And the place that you stand is a place of incredible power at this point. Not only is the president of the most powerful nation, hopefully still in the world, but having the power to reshape it. And we stand in a space that what I ran for, regardless of how I spoke about it, what I ran for is to truly hold the ideals of our nation sacred. And those ideals come in many different colors. They come in many different shapes and genders and sexual preferences and religions, and an amazing amount of diversity for sure. But there's certain principles that protect how we create this incredible mixing pot of the United States. And what I remain concerned about, and I shared my authentic apology, is that the Democratic Party really has the power at this point to reshape the election future forever. And Mr. President, you hold the power to continue to admit folks into our nation that have come through, not through our processes, our legal processes, but through a different mechanism. And you stand the power to essentially ensure that for a very, very long time, the Democratic Party wins every single election. And that is a power that you hold. And it's a simple formula of math. And I am sure that you believe that it'd be a wonderful thing to have the Democratic Party continue to win. But what I offer to you is that we could create a restructuring and an imbalance in our country that would not at all be consistent with principles that I believe that you and I both hold dear, for the principles of law and order. And how to solve those problems is incredibly complex. And how to do it with appropriate empathy, love, and respect, it matters enormously. But the conversation I would love to have with you And all I'm asking for is just your word that we have legitimacy in how we hear each other. Will be a longer conversation about how to secure our borders in real ways. And I think, Mr. President, transcending that conversation is how we could restore the reality that for most Democrats and most Republicans in our nation and most independents, we agree on 99% of things. We agree that we want the ability to earn a living to support our families. We agree in the fact that this nation holds a critical place in the world, and that having a United States of America matters to this world, not to the exclusion of others, as some people may perceive me to be standing for, and I don't. And I do hold responsibility for how people perceive my perspectives. But the conversation I'd love to have is how we can remind people at a time when I think the future of the world is very much in question, that we agree, Democrats, Republicans, Independents, on 99% of things, and we magnify those differences, and I certainly magnified the heck out of them. So, Mr. President, that's what I'd love to have a longer conversation about, and if you were to give me your word that you'd hold space for it, I'd be happy to create an agreement that has certain conditions around my apology to you and the desire to bring unity to our nation, unity at a higher level to our nation. So, sir, how does that resonate or not for you?
It resonates. I just have one question I'd like to ask, and you mentioned law and order as your primary purpose for the wall. If we can come to an agreement on what the wall will represent for America and how we can align with the principles behind building that moving forward, I would be willing to entertain that conversation. If we can align with why that wall is needed, what it's going to represent to our country. Was it for law and order, or was there another reason that we need this? Because to me, it feels like keeping people out.
Yeah,
and
for sure. So thank you. So I have many friends. I've been doing business for a long time. And I have folks that I know that drive cars that are from every ethnic background imaginable, from Latin America, from Eastern Europe, from Canada, from the Middle East, that won lotteries to be in this nation. And they spent years waiting for the privilege of entering this great country because, let's face the reality, Mr. President, everybody from around the world wants to live here. And if everybody from around the world were able to immigrate to this nation tomorrow, then we wouldn't have a United States anymore. And Democrats and Republicans have worked long and hard for many, many years to create the immigration laws that we have. So the answer would be no. My intent would not be to exclude anybody in particular, but to face mathematical realities of sustaining our nation and its future growth, which is incredibly complex. So I'd be happy to share that and some other things as well that, quite frankly, I'd even be willing to concede that the election wasn't stolen, and that I feel very frustrated and challenged by some of the policies that we would be discussing about how we determine who votes in our nation and who doesn't. But I think that the evidence that we created and have doesn't carry the day on that point also. And that's something I'd also be willing to acknowledge is the legitimacy of the presidency.
Well, that does say a lot. And under that condition, I will gladly accept a further conversation, given that we not just talk about the wall, but total immigration reform and how we can use that border on the southern border of the United States, not just to make America better, but to make Mexico better and to give as much as we're getting out of those workers, letting them return to their country, take the wealth that they get from America to grow Mexico. And if we can come to agreement on that, I'd be more than willing to discuss the wall.
Oh, sounds great, Mr. President. Thank you for your time. Out of roll, Nathan, how'd that feel for you?
Oh, first of all, I was blown away that this is President Donald Trump talking to me. And if that's words are coming from your heart, I'm going to listen, especially given the contrast that we get from the public persona. So I was immediately taken in by that.
Well, thank you for that. And Jessica, great scenario. And how did that feel for you?
Yeah, I liked it. I thought everything was well thought out. You guys, I like it because you get to the point. There's no drama to pull people in. You're really speaking about substance right there. And it was very good. It was calm, not emotional and excited. It was calm. You're able to listen, follow along. It was good.
Well, thank you for that. And Bella, how was that for you?
Absolutely extraordinary, Sean. Dropping into the chat some of the indispensable elements that you were demonstrating in that magic moment, and as I mentioned, everybody talked about in the green room that they wanted to be able to connect on a deeper level, and you demonstrated that in that scenario, because she was shared with everybody about what Tony Robbins had said about you. And that speaking into the listening of others, the acknowledgement, that's what creates that deep connection. And it was absolutely masterful.
I know we've run thank you, Bella, a few minutes long. I'll just share this piece. I've had the privilege of being one of only 2 attorneys in America to have 2 top 100 national jury verdicts between 2014 and 16, and the only one that was blind out of 1.2 million lawyers in America. And the second top 100 verdict, that's the largest verdict, it was a business breakup case in Arizona. We had an incredible federal judge who had rules in his courtroom against emotion, right? Against emotion. And by the end of that trial, that judge, who was as integrous, down the middle, didn't smile for the entire, almost month-long trial, delivered the verdict staring at the other side, as we also awarded 8 figures in punitive damages. And what that says to me is what every study says, is that we all, no matter how logically minded we are all driven by emotion, ethics, justice, truth, love, aspirational energy will always defeat the force of negative vibrational energy. So I just share that, and I thank you all for being here today. And we'll go a quick wrap up. Brian, super appreciate you and you being here. How was your time with us in the Real Raw today, coming from your awesome center?
I think it was fantastic. Obviously, had a great presence here, but hearing the dialogue and the back and forth and seeing this wealth of talent on the judging panel as well was excellent. So I was very, very appreciative to be included in this.
No, thank you, Brian, and look forward to continuing to develop our relationship. Thank you, brother. Judge Rhea, how was your time with us in the Real Raw today? Thank you for your wisdom, your heart, your energy. How was your time with us today?
Wonderful. It was worthwhile.
Well, thank you. And coming from you, I am perceiving your straight shooterness, and that is well received with gratitude.
I say as little as I can.
Well, that I am present to that. So thank you very much for that.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. And Uche, thank you for everything you're doing, sir. How was your time with us here today?
It was awesome. I'm glad that I decided to join, and I was blown away by some of the things I've learned today, and it was incredible. So great time.
Appreciate that very much. And let's go, Tom. Thank you for your wisdom, for your share, and for your awesome feedback today. How was the Real Raw for you, Tom?
It was very enjoyable, and I believe that Mother Teresa would be proud of you playing Donald Trump.
Thank you. Hey, can I share a quick fun fact?
Sure.
So quick fun facts. I do believe in this dynamic that as we rise in our leadership, massive forces move against, because as we rise in leadership, it hits the significance funny bone of people, it creates connection to our primal energy. So if you were to Google Mother Teresa is a fraud, you would get more than 1 million hits, right? And if you did it for Martin Luther King, for Bruce Springsteen, for Jesus, for Gandhi, for anyone, you'll get massive resistance anytime we rise in leadership. So thank you for the Mother Teresa reference, and I appreciate that, Tom.
It's easier to tear someone down than to pick them up.
Amen to that. Yeah. Amen to that. Dr. Nicholas, I'm sure you know a lot about that. How was your time in the Real Raw today, sir?
Oh my God, that wasn't politics. If politicians spoke this way, I believe we will never have an unresolved issue because of, politicians do not think of solutions. They think of how to complicate things. Just and I ran for a political position, for Congress, and I learned so much on how the political arena is all about, and it was distasteful for me.
Yeah.
So I commend you with the heartfelt focus on how to resolve and how to make the opponent feel better, and how you widen the path to just make things, the waves make more smoothly than just a big storm. And that says a lot of how we conduct our lives. And I appreciate the invite today.
Oh, thank you.
And watching this play is awesome. And thank you so much.
Well, thank you. Your heart, your soul, your spirit are present and received with gratitude.
Thank you. Thank you. Same here.
God bless you. God bless you. And Nathan, again, thank you for your service, because we have the right and privilege and ability to do things like this in this great country because of people like you. So thank you for that.
Yes.
And how was your time with us today?
It was great. And I was laughing because when Jessica saw what did I get myself into, I'd been there before, and I completely empathized with that. And I was like, oh, poor girl, but you did awesome. And Sean, it's just a pleasure to see what you do, to see the possibility that you can, of a level of mastery that you can get to is impressive to watch. And it's just inspiring. Thank you.
Thank you, Nathan. Thank you. And Jessica, I love your authenticity. I love your I don't know what I'm doing. And then your ability to just step in and have an amazing time. So thank you for that. And how was your experience?
I would say, I think Nathan just hit the nail on the head in the beginning. I was like, what did I get myself into? What's going on? But you guys all seem very nice and like emotionally connected people. Like I liked all of you. I like the vibe, as people say, right? I liked it. So I'm like, let's say, okay. And then as you guys even said, I just snapped into it because I was feeling it. And yeah, so I liked it. I had a great time. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you. And congratulations on having the cutest dog in the world, the cutest Yorkie. Even if Bella's got a battle with her amazing Diora. So Bella, final.
Yes, Sean, final is, we've definitely had some fun. Now Nathan's got his cutest dog in the world that he's brought to the screen. We have definitely had some fun today. Some amazing, beautiful connections have happened. That guide that I was telling you about at the beginning has been dropped in the chat. Make sure you download that because it has the 4 energies, it has the 4 steps, it has the 12 indispensable elements. And the truth of the matter is our money, time, and magic is dependent upon the yeses that we get. And there is nobody in this world that has come up with a formula to get more yeses than Sean Callagy. And as I mentioned, Tony Robbins said, there's no one that leads with more heart and more integrity. So if you want yeses with more heart, with more integrity, with more connection, and with humans, you want to download that guide. And then we also have an event coming up in Miami. If you're in the Florida area, you definitely want to get to that event because we're going to be breaking down that formula on a deeper level. And so that's not something that you want to miss because we all deserve more time, money, and magic. And you might even be able to see some of your fellow co-stars on the show today at the event. So thank you all for being here. And Sean, back to you.
Yeah, thank you. And in final, we've had more than 3,000 incredible people like yourselves, because when COVID began, we're a live event, live speaking business. We're like, what do we do now? And there's always innovation. So as Bella said, it's about our integrous ability to go from hello to yes, and then where to apply it for beautiful scaling and impact, and then how to deal with our primal selves, our fear of rejection, our fear of failure. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, what's going on here? I don't want to be rejected and thrown out of the tribe. To deal with that, we call that our process, influence, and self-mastery. That's the work in this world. I had the privilege of owning a 100+ person law firm and speaking all over this country. And it's an honor and a privilege because I had no idea. I knew I was going blind. I had no idea what I was going to do to earn a living after that occurred. And once I learned the incredible ability we have to create impact and control our money, our time, and our magic, I want to give it to as many people as humanly possible. So thank you for the honor and privilege of the space today. And hopefully this is just the beginning, but if it's not, just remember that right there for all of us is our money, our time, our magic. But Bella, we're all blind.
And just learning to see.
Thank you guys.
Bye, everyone.
That was a great one.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye.
John.